Hello, guys. I hope you all are doing good today. Welcome to the live stream in the English Premier League between Newcastle United versus Arsenal. It has been a weekend of drama in the English football at lots of dramas, actions, and controversy in match week 6 of the English Premier League games. On Saturday, in the lunchtime kickoff, saw Manchester United traveled to the Brentford Community Stadium to take on Brentford. And that encounter, Manchester United lost by 3 goals to 1. Manchester United lost 3 goals to 1 to Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium. And in the 3 p.m. kickoff, saw Chelsea welcome Brighton and Hove Albion to the Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea lost 3 goals to 1 at Stamford Bridge as Brighton and Hove Albion were able to defeat Chelsea for the third time in a row in just a season. And also in the 3 p.m. kickoff, saw Crystal Palace defeated Liverpool by 2 goals to 1. It was indeed an end-to-end football at Selhurst Park as Crystal Palace manager, talking about Oliver Glasner, has set a new club record for Crystal Palace, being the first manager to keep an unbeaten run of 18 matches. So far, Crystal Palace are undefeated in 18 matches in the English Premier League. And also, the 3 p.m. kickoff saw Leeds United play 2-2 draw with Bournemouth. And the last 3 p.m. kickoff saw Manchester City washed aside Burnley by 5 goals to 1. At the 5:30 p.m. kickoff, Sunderland visited Nottingham Forest and defeated Nottingham Forest by 1 goal to 0 as Ange Postecoglou still looking for his first win as Nottingham Forest manager. It has not been a good start for Ange Postecoglou at the Nottingham Forest after the club sacked Espirito Nuno Santos from as the manager of the club. And the last match on Saturday saw Tottenham Hotspur and Wolverhampton Wanderers placed a 1-1 draw at White Hart Lane. It was a late equalizer for Tottenham Hotspur as Paulinho scored the late equalizer to see Tottenham Hotspur get a point from that encounter. One match that many would have thought would be a one-way drive for Tottenham Hotspur, but it was never to be because it is football. Tonight, we will be streaming at the match between Newcastle United versus Arsenal, as Arsenal will be looking to take advantage of the points Liverpool dropped at Selhurst Park. A win for Arsenal would take Arsenal to 13 points, 2 points behind Liverpool, who still sits top at the English Premier League standing. And currently, Newcastle United going into this game currently sits 15 on the EPL standing. Going into this game, Arsenal currently sits 7th on the EPL standing, while Newcastle United are seated 15 in the league. Arsenal will be looking to take advantage of the point drop by Liverpool Football Club as they were defeated on Saturday by 2 goals to 1. As they were defeated on Saturday, 2 goals to 1 by Crystal Palace, who has been in a very fine form. So far, the 2025-2026 EPL season see only Crystal Palace that remains unbeaten after game week 6. So tonight at the St. James's Park is Newcastle United versus Arsenal. Both managers have released their starting 11 for this encounter as Newcastle United file out in a 4-3-3 formation. In goal is Nick Pope. At the right back is Livramento. The centre backs we have Militao and Botman. While the left back we have Bond. The three midfielder for Newcastle United are Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Joelinton. And the three attacking midfield is Murphy, Nick Waltermed, and Gordon. So that is and Anthony Gordon. That is the lineup of Newcastle United Football Club. And Arsenal also going into this game, Arsenal are without Noni Madueke, who is out injured, Gabriel Jesus, who has been out injured, Kai Havertz, who has been out injured. Talking about the team captain, Martin Odegaard, who is doubtful prior to this game, and also their summer transfer signing. Incapi is also out injured. And Arsenal also filed out in a 4-3-3 formation. In goal is David Raya. The fullback are Calafiori and Timber. The centre backs are Mosquera and Gabriel Magalish. No Saliba, no problem at the Arsenal centre back. The three attacking midfield, we have Iberechi Eze, Martin Zubimendi, and Declan Rice, while the three attacking up front for Arsenal Football Club. The right back, we have Bukayo Saka, who will captain the team out in the dugout. And up front, the middle of the attacking role is Victor Gyökeres, and the left wing is Leandro Trossard. What do you see, or what will you see coming out of this game tonight? Will Arsenal take all 3 points, or it will be a difficult clash or a difficult game for Arsenal? Less than 10 minutes before kickoff. The last time Arsenal defeated Crystal Palace in a Premier League game at St. James's Park was in May 2023. Can Arsenal defeat Newcastle United in tonight's encounter? Drop your opinion down below in the box. Let's see how this is going to play out. Before the game will kick off, let's take a look at some of the talking points in yesterday's Premier League kickoff on Saturday, as Manchester United traveled to the Brentford Community Stadium, which they lost in that encounter by 3-1. Manchester United had everything to level up the game in the second half of that encounter, as Bruno Fernandes, for the second time, have thrown away a crucial penalty kick that should have given Manchester United hope in a game. But Bruno Fernandes stepped up and take the penalty kick. And the Brentford goalkeeper had a strong left hand to that penalty kick and stopped Bruno Fernandes' equalizer. And that actually was a demoralization to Manchester United Football Club. So into the game, and it ended Brentford 3, Manchester United 1. So the 3 p.m. kickoff also saw Chelsea welcome Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League, and the game started on a pretty good note for Chelsea Football Club at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea in full control and possession of the game. And in the 24th minute, Reece James swung in a powerful cross that connected, that took a deflection from the Brighton and Hove defender but yet the ball went through, and Enzo Fernandez was just in position to head in that particular ball, and that gave Chelsea the lead in the 24th minute, and Chelsea took the lead at halftime. Coming into the second half, Chelsea were down to 10 men as Trevor Chalobah was sent off from that particular encounter. Trevor Chalobah was sent off from that particular encounter for a professional foul on Brighton attacker who was just at the point of scoring. And Trevor Chalobah brought the player down, hindering a goal scoring opportunity in that particular game. And Chelsea went on to lose that encounter, all thanks to Enzo Maresca's tactical error, bringing out all his attacking players again for the second time in a row. Having done the same thing against Manchester United, Enzo Maresca decided to bring out Gustavo William and Pedro Neto out of the game, leaving up front Joao Pedro, who was just roaming up there without support in the game for the second time in Chelsea Premier League game. And Brighton and Hove Albion took advantage of Chelsea numerical value and decided to punish Chelsea with 3 goals to 1. Also, in the 3 p.m. kickoff, saw Leeds United and Bournemouth share the point as they played a 2-2 draw, and Manchester City in Etihad Stadium hammered Burnley by 5 goals to 1. 5:30 p.m. kickoff saw Sunderland, who went to the home of Nottingham Forest to defeat Nottingham Forest by 2 goals to 1, by 1 goal to 0. And that simply means Ange Postecoglou is still looking for his first win as Nottingham Forest manager. So far, he has been in charge of 4 games, lost 2, draw, lost 3, and draw 1. 2 in the Premier League and 1 in the cup game. He is still looking for his first win as a manager of Nottingham Forest. So, going into this game, it's going to be a tough one for Mikel Arteta, as Arsenal will be looking to capitalize on the sleep of Liverpool Football Club to actually close the gap to 2 points. Now, currently, Liverpool still sit top of the league with 15 points. Liverpool still sit top of the league with 15 points. Haven't played 6, won 5, and lost 1. Their first loss of the season that was inflicted on them by Crystal Palace. While Arsenal currently, before kickoff of this game, is currently in 7th position. Haven't played 5, won 3, drew 1, and lost 1. And their only loss so far this season have come from the hand of Liverpool. Can Arsenal take advantage of the Liverpool sleep by defeating Crystal Palace tonight and closing the gap? What do you make of Arsenal tonight in this particular encounter? Or will Newcastle United still prove a very hard nut for Arsenal to crack? The last time Arsenal defeated Newcastle United at St. James's Park was in 2023, May 2023. And that was the last game in that season. So now in 2025, 2 years on, can Arsenal break that? Can Arsenal defeat Newcastle United at St. James's Park? Your guess. Drop your thoughts down below as the game is about to kick off. So earlier I gave you the lineup between Newcastle United versus Arsenal, and Arsenal line up in a 4-3-3 formation.
did have a very good first half in both those games in particular, and it ended strongly against Liverpool, only losing. What about this time round against another formidable opponent? Still have to have another go. Referee Jared Gillett for this one. At the moment, Newcastle are lining up in that back four with Dan Burton as their back position. Let's see if they try and prepare to.
It's kickoff at the St. James's Park as
Premier League data zone on the right-hand side of your screen. Individual player data for the first 10 minutes. That will be for the season so far. That also applies to the information at the bottom of your screen, which is the team data at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Pitch map shows where the players are at all times. So will show position information.
it's kickoff at the St. James's Park as Newcastle United is playing from right to left, while Arsenal is playing from left to right. Raya with the clearance. Saka was brought down. It's a foul. A free kick for Arsenal. Arsenal will be looking to close the gap to 2 points in the Premier League standing as Liverpool slept last night as Liverpool slept last night at Selhurst Park, defeated by Crystal Palace by 2-1. Declan Rice to take the free kick. It was a header by Victor Gyökeres, but Nick Pope have it to take very easily. That was easy to take for the Newcastle goalkeeper, Nick Pope. Zubimendi to Declan Rice. Zubimendi. Newcastle with the ball. Botman to Bond. Bond to Botman. Botman. What do you make of the encounter tonight? Can Arsenal take all 3 points away from St. James's Park to close the gap to just 2 points behind Liverpool? It's a throw-in for Newcastle. Newcastle to take the throw-in. And Raya picked that. And Raya with a quick play, throw to Victor Gyökeres. But the Newcastle goalkeeper, talking about Nick Pope, came out of the line for the clearance. It's Arsenal throwing. Calafiori to Declan Rice. Rice to Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes to Zubimendi. Back to Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes to David Raya. David Raya with a long clearance. Zubimendi to Timber. Timber with the cross. Eberechi Eze. What a miss. It was a good save. A strong left hand from Nick Pope to deny Eberechi Eze is Arsenal goal. What a save it was by Nick Pope, talking about the Newcastle goalkeeper. Newcastle goalkeeper was called onto duty by Eberechi Eze, and it was a strong left hand to deny Eberechi Eze, Arsenal opener. It's a corner for Arsenal, and Newcastle deal with the threat from the corner and clears it away. Arsenal trying to take advantage. Bukayo Saka. Saka with the ball. He beats his man with a cross. And that was easy for Nick Pope to take. Bukayo Saka so far has been very fantastic. So far, in the 6 minutes of play, Bukayo Saka have been doing excellently well. See how he beats the Newcastle defender and take the ball straight, but it was direct to Nick Pope, who actually handled it strongly. That was a good one from Bukayo Saka. David Raya with the ball. Raya with the long one into the Newcastle half for Victor Gyökeres to chase. The referee said no foul there after Victor Gyökeres was brought down. The referee said no foul. Botman with the ball. To Militao. Militao to Botman. Botman to Bond. Bond takes it long, and the Newcastle left winger check. I think that is Anthony Gordon's. But Timber was strong enough to overpower Anthony Gordon's. Arsenal in possession with the ball. Declan Rice. Rice to Trossard. Zubimendi with the ball to Declan Rice. Rice. Timber with the ball. Back to Mosquera. Mosquera to David Raya. Raya to Declan Rice. Rice to Mosquera. I love how Mosquera is very confident with the ball. I must say it's a very good acquisition by Arsenal Football Club. What a confident defender. Very calm on the ball. No panic. Zubimendi with the ball. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Veruski, thank you for joining. Nick Pope with the ball to Botman. Botman to Malik Tau. Malik Tau to Nick Pope. Arsenal pressing the Newcastle defense line so deep into their own box and trying to capitalize on that. Jolan Timber strong on the ball, but the referee said no foul. Newcastle trying to counter up here. Gordons to Bond. Bond takes a pull out, and Arsenal, it was a clearance from Calafiori. But the ball still remained with Newcastle. Murphy with the ball. Murphy takes a pull out, but it was headed out by Jordan Timber. For it's a corner for Arsenal. What do you make of the game tonight? Do you see Arsenal taking advantage after Liverpool slip at the Selhurst Park to Crystal Palace by losing 2 goals to 1? And Arsenal will be looking for the opportunity to close the gap down to 2, despite Liverpool losing at Selhurst Park in yesterday's kickoff. Liverpool still sits on top of the Premier League with 15 points and 12 goals and concede 7. Arsenal currently are on 11 points as this game is going on so far. So Arsenal will be looking to close the gap, to just 2 points after Liverpool lost yesterday to Crystal Palace. With the game still staying goalless after 10 minutes of play, Arsenal currently sit third on the EPL standing with 11 points behind Crystal Palace, who sit second with 12 points. A win here for Arsenal would take Arsenal to 13 points and just 2 points behind Liverpool. And that will keep the Premier League title chase and race open for both Arsenal to grab. And I think the ball is in Arsenal to take. The last time Arsenal defeated Newcastle United at the St. James's Park was in 2023, May 2023 precisely, and it was the last game of the season in that year for Arsenal. And today, Arsenal have a crucial game in their hand because it has been a weekend of football that one never expected, as Brentford defeated Manchester United 3 goals to 1. Chelsea lost at home to Brighton and Hove Albion also by 3 goals to 1. Newcastle United currently is mounting pressure on Arsenal, and Arsenal defense line were just quite equal to the task. It's a corner kick for Newcastle United. Newcastle to take the corner. This is Newcastle first corner into the game. Newcastle with the corner. Another corner after it was being headed out by Arsenal defender. So in the 3 p.m. kickoff yesterday, Chelsea lost at Stamford Bridge to Brighton and Hove Albion. Leeds United and Bournemouth play out a 2-2 draw, while Manchester City hammered Burnley by 5 goals to 1. Newcastle with the corner. David Raya with the punch. The pressure is mounting. Newcastle trying to see how they can take advantage and capitalize on this pressure. But the Arsenal defense line, I must say, have been doing a very fantastic job. And a long one from Declan Rice trying to locate Bukayo Saka. Gyökeres! Oh no! The referee has a decision to make here, and it seems it's a penalty for Arsenal after Victor Gyökeres was brought down. Arsenal have opportunity here to take the lead. The referee have a decision here to make, consulting with the VAR while still talking to the two team captains, talking about Bukayo Saka and Guimaraes, Bruno Guimaraes. But the goalkeeper actually touched the ball before his kneel. The VAR have a decision to make here. Let's see how this decision is going to be taken. The VAR and the on-field referee are in communication. And the on-field referee have been asked to check the monitor. It seems like it's not going to be a penalty because from what I saw, from what I observed, the goalkeeper gets the ball before his knee actually make contact to bring down Victor Gyökeres. But let's see what the decision is going to be from the on-field referee after he has been given the go-ahead to check the monitor. And one of my viewers here said it's a penalty. It seems it has been awarded. Oh, it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be a penalty because Victor Gyökeres get the ball first to beat the Newcastle goalkeeper, talking about Nick Pope. Yes, the VAR is still on check. The VAR is still on check of the game, trying to make a very good decision here. But let's see what will come out of this. I must say it's a very difficult one to call, trying to see if the touch was strong or was minimal. But then, a touch in a very sensitive area like this is always a touch, regardless of what it is. Regardless of what it is. From what I have observed several times, when it comes to touch in the sensitive box in football, a penalty is always rewarded. Okay, let's hear from the referee. The referee is now off from the monitor and is going to make his decision. There is no penalty. After the review, the on-field referee confirms that the Newcastle goalkeeper placed the ball and there is no foul. Exactly what I was trying to say here. I'm not justifying my own, but what I saw was that he actually played the ball before his knee made a contact with the Arsenal point man, talking about Victor Gyökeres. Well, one of my viewers says, Joseph Ezekiel, VAR, not fair. The same point, when you watch the review I made with my very good friend talking about Maduako Godson, I made that point. The inconsistency of the English VAR is actually worrisome, and that calls for lots of questions. But personally, I don't like talking about the VAR. But the beautiful game of the EPL might just be one that the VAR might be one to cause, how will I even put it? The VAR might just be the one killing the fun that is coming out of the English Premier League. But believe me, decisions like this goes round. Decisions like this, it goes round. Sometimes it favors, sometimes it doesn't. But that is not what it's supposed to be, because the VAR was introduced into the game to actually see that actions that the referee, the on-field referee, are unable to see. And that is why VAR was introduced into the game of football. But currently, there have been a lot of controversy with the video assistant referee. And tonight, we have just experienced one. One will argue it's a penalty, and another might say it's not a penalty. But as it stands, the on-field referee decision said, after careful review, the Newcastle goalkeeper placed the ball before the contact was made with Victor Gyökeres. And as such, no penalty was awarded. Game on, as Newcastle are still trying to keep their composure. Nick Pope with the ball. Nick Pope to Botman. Botman with a pass to Anthony Gordons. And the ball. Timber is doing a very good job on Anthony Gordons, I must say. And that is one beautiful thing you must admire about Arsenal Football Club when it comes to their defense line. Excellent. The fullback, the center backs are doing excellently well. And I must always give them that flower, because currently Like I always say, in the English Premier League, Arsenal currently still have the best defense line when it comes to the Premier League. And that has been one thing we have been experiencing. It's a corner for Newcastle United. It's a corner. No William Saliba, no problem. And the ball is still, and Arsenal defense line are still doing the job which they know how to do very well. So far, after 20 minutes of play, it's still nil-nil at St. James's Park. Like I said earlier, Arsenal have what it takes to close the gap to Liverpool to just 2 points. But Newcastle United have been proving a very hard nut to crack here at St. James's Park. Declan Rice with the ball. Clears from Arsenal danger area to Victor Gyökeres, who have been the lone man up front. And the ball has gone out for a throw for Newcastle United. A quick throw by Livramento to Botman, talking about Tau with the ball, Tau to Botman. Malik Tau is one of the Newcastle's new signing from AC Milan this season. He's a centre back, and it was signed precisely on August 8th. August 8th. That was when Newcastle announced the signing of Malik Tau. I can't forget that date. That was the day Chelsea were to play their first preseason friendly game against AC Milan. And Malik Tau already has traveled with the team to London. But Newcastle United said the player should travel to London. After then, he can travel back to Milan after that preseason friendly game with Chelsea. And on Monday morning, the player should be in Northeast again in England to actually do his medical. And so Militao left AC Milan to join Newcastle United, and so far has been a starter for Newcastle United. It has been an interesting first half here at St. James's Park as both team has been looking to see who will break the deadlock first. End-to-end football, I must say. It's a corner for Arsenal Football Club as Bukayo Saka to take. Who will win the game tonight? Drop your thought down below. Who wins tonight? Arsenal or Newcastle? Your vote is as good as mine. You can also play the poll there. Can Arsenal close the gap to 2 points after Liverpool lost to Crystal Palace last night? And who wins tonight? Your comment is as good as. Let's keep the conversation ongoing in that order. It's a free kick for Arsenal. A header. Newcastle defense line were also equal to the facts. Thank you for joining. Please endeavor to just punch the like button to invite more viewers to come. If you are watching me, thank you for joining ID Talk TV, where we are streaming the live match between Newcastle United versus Arsenal. Please click on the like button to show the love for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. The game is still ongoing. After 25 minutes of play, it's still goalless at St. James's Park, as both teams have been looking to see how they can break the deadlock. It has been end-to-end football. Newcastle Walter made with the ball. Arsenal, Zubimendi clearance. Bukayo Saka. to Timber. Timber to Gyökeres. Gyökeres has really been holding up play for Arsenal Football Club up front. And Arsenal with an attack here. Arsenal with a chance. No, we hit the woodwork. What a miss. That was a chance miss by Arsenal Football Club. Jolenting now for Newcastle United. Anthony Gordons trying to play one-on-one with Timber. And that was an easy one for David Raya to take. Trossard can't believe he actually missed that chance to give Arsenal the lead. That was a miss by Trossard. Beautiful game played here by Arsenal Football Club. What a well-leveled pass. And Arsenal players were already going to see how to celebrate the goal. But then the ball hits the woodwork by Trossard. It's a throw-in for Newcastle United. That was a very big miss by Arsenal Football Club as Leandro Trossard hit the woodwork. It's still goalless at St. James's Park. It's still goalless at St. James's Park. So far in the game, Arsenal have created one big chance in the first half of this game so far, and Newcastle United yet to create one. Arsenal have had 5 shot attempts on goal. Newcastle United 3. Goalkeeper saves for both goalkeeper. It has been 2-2 saves. And corner kicks. Newcastle United have played 5 corners, while Arsenal have played just 2. Passes. Arsenal have completed 108 passes. Newcastle United have completed 93 passes after 30 minutes of play in the first half. Tackles 1. Arsenal have won 4 tackles. Newcastle only 1. Eberechi with a shot, but it was blocked off. What a chance. Arsenal have been playing very, very good football here so far. Arsenal have been doing very well. Possession-wise, they possess the ball ahead of Newcastle United. Shot on target. Arsenal have had 3 shots on target, while Newcastle United 2. Arsenal have hit the woodwork once. Newcastle United have not hit the woodwork. The ball is out of play for a throw-in, and it's Arsenal throw-in. Calafiori to throw the ball in for Arsenal. What a save! What a save by Nick Pope. Nick Pope have actually denied Eberechi Eze 2 clear-cut chances, and that is why a goalkeeper is always in between the stake, and that is why the goalkeeper was signed. Nick Pope have been excellent so far in this game for Newcastle United, still keeping Newcastle in this game, not going down against Arsenal, has clearly been the Newcastle United goalkeeper, talking about Nick Pope. 2 excellent saves so far in this game from Eberechi Eze's strike. And Nick Pope says no problem, as it has been in favor of Nick Pope. Well saved. Throw it for Arsenal, and that's a long throw. Newcastle United heads out, and Zubimendi with the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice tried to change, and Timber with the ball. Timber wins a corner for Arsenal Football Club. It's a corner for Arsenal, and this will be Arsenal 3rd corner in the first half of this encounter. So far, Newcastle United, Botman 15, Tonali 12, and Livramento 12. That is, and Arsenal, that is total touches for defenders. Arsenal, Declan Rice, 16. Total distance covered for Newcastle, Tonali have covered 3.4 kilometers, Guimaraes 3.1, Livramento 3.3. While for Arsenal, Trossard have covered the more distance with 2.1 kilometers. Opponent bypass. Botman, talking about the Newcastle defender, has had 30, while Declan Rice for Arsenal have had 37. Arsenal still pressing, mounting more pressure on, and Nick Pope collects the ball safely and calmly. So far, it's still goalless. A long one from the goalkeeper, and David Raya out of his line to clear the ball off for Arsenal Football Club. And it still remains goalless at St. James's Park, as no side have actually scored. Over 30 minutes of play is Newcastle United nil, Arsenal Football Club nil. But indeed, it has been an interesting first half so far in this encounter. It has been an interesting first half, I must say, in this encounter. As a couple of big chances created by Arsenal Football Club, but Newcastle United goalkeeper, talking about Nick Pope, had been up there and equal to the task. Bukayo Saka on the ball for Arsenal into Newcastle box, but then another save from Nick Pope and to deny Bukayo Saka. It's a corner for Arsenal. What a pace from Bukayo Saka from halfway off the field, and the run was excellent. He struck it pretty well with his right foot, and it was a beautiful save by Nick Pope, and the ball went out for Arsenal corner. So far, Eberechieze only recorded 2 shots on target in this match. Eberechieze has already recorded 2 shots on target in this match. Interesting one. Interesting. Shot attempt at goal. Arsenal have had 8 shots and Newcastle United 3. Shot on target. Arsenal have had 4 shots on target and 2 for Newcastle United. And of Arsenal 4 shots on target, Eberechi Eze have recorded 2 shots on target. And a goal has been scored in this game. A goal has been scored. It's a goal. Newcastle United have taken the lead. Newcastle United have taken the lead. Newcastle United have taken the lead. 85 million euro signing from Stuttgart. Nick Watermaid has given Newcastle United the lead against Arsenal Football Club at the St. James's Park. It's definitely going to be a long night for Arsenal Football Club as they will be chasing to come from behind. Newcastle United have taken the lead. Goal from Nick Watermaid and is second in the Premier League. Is second in the Premier League. Beautiful work set piece goal from the corner. From corner, they didn't cross the corner into the box. They passed the ball, and the ball was crossed into the corner, into the box of Arsenal Football Club. And Nick Watermaid was just there to nod it down. And it was a beautiful cross from Tonali. And Nick Watermaid nodded it into the goal to give Newcastle United the lead. But Arsenal players, the team captain talking about Bukayo Saka, they are still contesting the goal, trying to see. To them, it seems something was definitely wrong with that goal. And there have been communication ongoing with the on-field referee and the VAR crew. But from what I am seeing here, it was a free heading from Nick Waltermate. But the contention here is if Nick Waltermate actually pushed Victor Gyökeres down in the box before heading the ball, and here is a decision for the VAR to make this time around. As Arsenal are complaining that there have been a push on Victor Gyökeres from Nick Waltermate, who actually headed in Newcastle United to give Newcastle United the lead. Let's see what it's going to be. But from every indication and from what I'm seeing, the goal actually stood and there was no problem from the touch. And it's Newcastle United 1, Arsenal Football Club 0. Nick Waltermate breaking the deadlock for Newcastle United at the 34th minute. And what a header it was. Beautiful cross from Tonali and Nick Waltermate. Beautiful connecting. And it gives Newcastle United the lead. It's Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 0. Less than 10 minutes to be played in the first half, and Arsenal will be looking for how to come back into this game and to see if they can actually get a point out of this particular game. This time around, we are not talking of a win for them to reduce the point gap to 2 against Liverpool, but now they are looking for the survivor of this particular game. Haven't considered a goal. Arsenal have dropped down from the table back to 7th, where they were before the game actually kicked off. And Newcastle United, if the game stays like this, have actually jumped from 15th position to 8th position, putting Chelsea behind, pushing Chelsea downward to 9th in the table. So far, it has been an interesting first half, but then Newcastle United have been the first to break the deadlock. And indeed, there it looks like there was a push there. But what they are complaining is that what the VAR team and the referee are looking is that the push was a soft one. Well, that is another thing. The more I keep saying, the VAR inconsistency is what is actually bringing down the Premier League. One decision favorable and the other not. What I am saying here, this is Arsenal sensitive area. In my opinion, this is my thoughts now. And I feel the referee should have the VAR crew should have given the referee the opportunity again to go to the monitor to see things for himself. Probably the referee, this on-field referee, did not see that decision, but then the VAR crew have actually said probably it was a soft one. The touch was not probably strong, and Nick Waltermate goal actually stands. And as it is Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 0. Arsenal still looking for a win against Newcastle United at St. James's Park since 2023. Arsenal with the ball. Timber trying to locate Eze. Eze with the ball brought down, but the referee says no foul. And it has been a very physical contact game here at the St. James's Park. The Newcastle United team have been very physical, I must say. But Arsenal are still trying to see how they can equal up to the task. And I think this was a foul on Eberechi Eze. It was a foul, but the referee said no foul. The game went on, and it was a free kick for Newcastle United. Botmad with the ball, trying to locate Anthony Gordons. And Tonali with the ball. Tonali have been a very fantastic midfielder. What a want to play with Tonali and Gordons, and they are trying to break out here. Oh. Guimaraes with the ball. Walter made, Gordons, Tonali, a cross from Tonali, but headed out by Arsenal defense line. Trossard, Livramento to Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres with the ball. What can he make out of this? What a defensive work by Militao, stopping Victor Gyökeres from actually breaking foul. I thought Victor Gyökeres would have released the strike from that point, haven't gone close that much. I expected Victor Gyökeres to have released a shot from that point. So far, it's still Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal 0. It has been an interesting first half in this particular encounter. Newcastle United keeping their tempo calm, keeping their composure, while Arsenal are still trying to see how they will play the catch up in this particular game, because that is what it has actually turned out to be. Arsenal trying to play the catch up at this point, as Newcastle United are one up already in the first half, with less than 5 minutes to play in this particular game. So it has been a very physical game between both players. Shake his hand. He has given you the hand to shake. Walter mate, stop this complaint and shake the hand of Gabriel Magalhaes. Be a sportsmanship. Yeah, show that sportsmanship spirit. Passes into box attempted. Tonali 8, while Rice 5. I think the attacking threat in this particular game have actually come more from Newcastle United than of Arsenal. I must actually say, this guy really lived for this particular goal. He really lived for the goal. Nick Waltermade getting his second Premier League goal for Newcastle United. 85 million euro striker from VfB Stuttgart. That is one position Newcastle United have actually struggled all season. Never wanted to sell their star man, talking about Alexander Isak. But currently, so far this season, I think it has been no Alexander Isak, no problem for Newcastle United. Even though they have started the season so poorly, if they happen to win this match, it's going to be which means they have actually won 2 out of 6, drawn 3, and they have lost only 1. And so far, with pride, you will say their loss came against Liverpool, who are currently the defending champion. And in that particular encounter, they fought so hard to actually ensure they got a point from it. But Liverpool last minute goal was just too late for Newcastle to come back into that game. But so far, Nick Waltermade is actually giving them probably what Alexander Isak might have been given to them, because so far in the Premier League, having joined Liverpool Football Club, Alexander Isak is yet to get a Premier League goal this season. The 145 million euro striker for Liverpool Football Club is actually yet to stamp his feet at Anfield. But in days to come, in time to come, we'll see how that will play out for the Swedish striker, if he will actually get it right at Liverpool Football Club, just the way he became the star man. And one player, Newcastle United, were doing everything possible in their power not to let go. But the situation was fast deteriorating, as Newcastle United were left without an option rather than to let the man go. And Newcastle United, all through the summer, have been running from pillar to post to see how they could sign a striker. Newcastle United went for Brian Mbeumo, and Brian Mbeumo actually opted to play for Manchester United. Newcastle United also went for Joao Pedro of Brighton, and he ended up in Chelsea Football Club. They went for, also talking about the West Ham attacking midfield player Mohamed Kudus. Kudus ended up at Tottenham Hotspur. Newcastle United also went for James Trafford, talking about Manchester City goalkeeper who was formerly at Burnley. And Trafford actually get a return back to Manchester City. And so far, he is the second goalkeeper for Manchester City, having signed Gianluigi Donnarumma. The first 45 minutes of play is over, and the referee, the assistant referee, have just shown a 7-minute added time on the clock. So 7 minutes added into this first half, as Arsenal are still chasing to see how they will get the equalizer before thinking of how to get the 3 points from this game. But currently now, Arsenal is playing catch up in this particular encounter, as it is still Newcastle United 1, Arsenal Football Club 0. And a throw to Gordon. Arsenal cleared the ball out. The ball went out of throw for Newcastle. David Raya with the ball. David Raya with a long ball. Headed down by Victor Gyökeres. Rice to Bukayo Saka. Saka to Timber. Timber trying to make the run. Oh no, he couldn't get his footing right and was down. Julian Timber with the ball. And to Nick Waltermate. Waltermate to to Joelinton. Joelinton to Anthony Gordons. It's a foul as Anthony Gordons was brought down. Anthony Gordon was brought down. It's a foul for Newcastle United. 2 minutes into the 7-minute added time in the first half of this game, as Arsenal still trail Newcastle United. So far, Arsenal is playing catch up in this particular game, as Newcastle United, Nick Waltermate goal actually is the difference in the first half of this particular encounter. What do you make? Can Arsenal make a comeback into this game? Can Arsenal make a comeback into this game? Bukayo Saka with the ball. Anytime Saka is on the ball, two players are always at him. And it was brought down, but the referee says no foul. Tonelli for Newcastle. Watermaid with the ball, trying to see how he can beat past two Arsenal defenders, but no way. Eze with the ball. Eze was brought down. The referee still says no foul. Zubimendi to Califiori. Califiori moving forward to Victor Gyökeres, but the goalkeeper finds its way to Nick Pope, and Nick Pope cleared the ball out of the danger area of Newcastle United. A quick one by Arsenal. Zubimendi with the ball. A long one trying to locate Trossard. And Trossard, oh, it was Califiori. Califiori tried to play a quick one into the box, but the ball was volleyed out of play. It's a goal kick for Newcastle United. Nick Watermaid is actually taking his time to take the goal kick. And he has set the ball, waiting to take the goal kick. A long one into the field of play, headed by Bukayo Saka, connected by Zubimendi. Victor Gyökeres was obstructed there from running. And Livramento with the ball. The ball is out of play. It's a train for Arsenal. Quick one. Calafiori. Declan Rice. To Gabriel Magalish. To Zubimendi. To Trossard. Trossard locates Zubimendi. To Declan Rice. Rice tried to locate Bukayo Saka, but the ball was deflected. Took a deflection from a player. Tonelli with the ball. Tonelli with the ball. Tonelli brought the assist that actually gave Newcastle United the goal. Down to Nick Pope. Nick Pope with the ball. Now to Botman. Botman to Bond. Bondman. Bond with the clearance into the center of the pitch. The referee said no foul. Play on. Gabriel Magalish to David Raya. Raya to Mosquera. Mosquera to Declan Rice. Gabriel Magalish to Raya. Eze. Eze to Zubimendi now with the ball. Eze. Eze to Gabriel Magalish. Trossard. Saka with the ball, but couldn't keep his footing as Newcastle United defender were actually equal to the task. And very soon, the referee will sound the whistle for first half in this particular game. Rice with the ball. Timber to Declan Rice. Gabriel Magalish took a long one, but headed out by Newcastle United defender. What a long ball there. Arsenal have done everything possible to see how they can come back into this game in the first half. Gabriel Magalish, long one. Change of play. And that didn't go well. A cross, but it was out of play. The referee has sounded the whistle, and it's halftime at St. James's Park. As Nick Walter made goal, is the difference between Newcastle United and Arsenal Football Club. Lots of talking points in the first half of this particular encounter. Lots of decision. One we want to question whether the on-field referee and the VAR team are actually doing what is needed of them to do pretty well. But then, as it stands, it's Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 0. Lots of talking points in this particular game, I must say. So it's Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 0. Lots of talking points from the first half of this particular encounter. What do you make of the game so far? As the referee and the VAR decisions been very fair in this particular game? What do you make? Should Victor Gyokeres penalty call have been given, or the referee decisions was the VAR and referee decision was spot on? Because the VAR actually assessed the situation. They asked the on-field referee to go and take a look at the monitor by himself. The referee went to the monitor, took a look at the actions that happened between Nick Pope and Victor Gyökeres. And after review, the on-field referee said Nick Pope actually got the ball before Victor Gyökeres kneel, then touch, before his kneel make contact with Victor Gyökeres. And as it stands, is the decision was that no penalty, and the game went on. Fast forward into the game, in the 34th minute of that encounter, when Newcastle United had a corner kick, which was quickly taken. It was taken by Guimaraes, and Guimaraes laid the pass to. It was quickly taken by Anthony Gordons, and Anthony Gordons laid the pass to Tonali, and Tonali swing in a beautiful cross, and it was headed into the net by Nick Waltermade. But then Arsenal, Arsenal players actually contested the ball, that there was a push on Victor Gyökeres from Nick Waltermade. And after careful assessment by the VAR, the ball was said to be a goal. And the goal stood, and that has been the difference between Newcastle United and Arsenal so far in the game, as the first half ended 1-0 in favor of Newcastle United. Do you think Nick Watermade's goal should have stood? And do you think also the referee should have been given the permission to check the monitor again? But then, lots of questions still begging for answer against or about the VAR, the way the handling of VAR decision has been going in the Premier League. And one will begin to wonder that the VAR has not been consistent when it comes to decision making. So, as it stands in this particular encounter, at the break, it's Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 0. Over to you, the fans. Let me get your thoughts in the comment. Do you see Arsenal coming back into this game? Do you see Arsenal coming back into this game? Do you see Arsenal coming back into this game? I haven't had lots of chances, but one man that should be saluted so far in the game, I must say, should be Nick Pope, the Newcastle United goalkeeper. He has been very fantastic. Eberechi Eze with two powerful strikes, but then Nick Pope has been equal to those strikes from Eberechi Eze. With strong left hand to save the ball in the first strike from Eze, and the second volley, the goalkeeper was still equal to it, to parry it away from the area. And in the touch line, after that penalty decision was disallowed, you could see Arsenal manager talking about Mikel Arteta smiling and clapping for that particular decision. But then Arsenal still have 45 minutes in the second half to actually redeem their image. But surprisingly, it has been a weekend of so many upsets. From Saturday kickoff, lunchtime kickoff, saw Brentford defeat Manchester United rather by 3-1. Chelsea lost at home in Stamford Bridge to Brighton and Hove Albion by 3-1. Leeds United and Bournemouth play out a 2-2 draw at the home of Leeds United. I would say that was a decent result for Bournemouth, who have actually been in a very good form this season so far. All thanks and kudos to Andoni Iraola, who has been a fantastic manager, seeing how things happen at the home of Bournemouth, talking about the Vitality Stadium. And the last game in the 3 p.m. kickoff saw Manchester City Pep Guardiola hammered Burnley, the newly promoted boys, by 5-1. And in the 5:30 p.m. kickoff, Nottingham Forest hosted Sunderland, one of the newly promoted boys in the Premier League. But Ange Postecoglou being appointed as the new manager of Nottingham Forest after the sacking of Nuno Espirito Santos. They brought in Ange Postecoglou, and Ange Postecoglou is yet to get the first win for Nottingham Forest as their new manager, meaning Ange Postecoglou from his end at Tottenham Hotspur down to Nottingham Forest is yet to win in 10 Premier League matches, one would say, which means the form he was actually having at Tottenham Hotspur was not just by mistake. He has been in a bad form, I must say. But then Nottingham Forest owners said they brought in a manager full of experience that can actually win them trophy. And they forget the good work of Espirito Nuno Santos did in last season, talking about 2024-2025 league season with Nottingham Forest. Nuno Espirito Santos has actually was a fantastic manager for Nottingham Forest last season, fighting it from the first day down to the last day, trying to see how they can secure Champions League football. But then their last game was against Chelsea, and that was also a final of the league itself. And Chelsea defeated Nottingham Forest by a goal to nothing. And that was how Chelsea made the top four, and Nottingham Forest actually dropped to the Europa League. And that manager that gave them that success last season was fired. I can't really place why he was actually fired. He started the game, won his first league game in the season, but then was still shown the exit out of Nottingham Forest. And their new manager, talking about Ange Postecoglou, is yet to win a game with Nottingham Forest. And so the last match of the day, talking about the 8:30 p.m. kickoff, saw Tottenham Hotspur welcome Wolverhampton Wanderers at the White Hart Lane. One match that many would have thought would be a one-way traffic for Tottenham Hotspur, who have started the league in a very good form, haven't played six, won three. They have drawn two and lost just one. Their loss came at the same White Hart Lane against Bournemouth, and which means Tottenham Hotspur so far this season, apart from their opening encounter, which they defeated Burnley by 3 goals to nothing, they have not been spectacular at home. They have not had it good at home because their win so far has been 1 win at home and 2 away from home. And that 2 away wins was against Manchester City and against West Ham United. And so far, the game ended 1-1. Palhinha actually left it late to score that late equalizer for Tottenham Hotspur before they could get a point out of that particular encounter. Wolverhampton Wanderers that are yet to secure a win in the Premier League actually held their ground. They actually make it tough for Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane, but at the end they couldn't maintain it. Else they would have gotten their first win of the season. But then a team who is very hungry for something, talking about Tottenham Hotspur, they did that very well. So on Sunday, we have 2 games that is being played. The first kickoff, which was 5 p.m. kickoff, saw Aston Villa welcome Fulham to the Villa Park. And Aston Villa have gotten their first win of the season, defeating Fulham by 3 goals to 1. I mean, they didn't just score, but they actually won the game, scoring 3 goals against Fulham Football Club. It was interesting to see Unai Emery on the sideline, jumping as usual with his usual form of celebration, and Aston Villa have secured their first win. I have never had any doubt about Unai Emery's ability to turn things around for Aston Villa. But will it be up there the way it was last season? That is a question that will be begging for answer. But so far, Aston Villa have secured their first win of the season, and it has been very interesting. and down to the game that is being played at St. James's Park. It's halftime as Newcastle United take the lead into halftime as they are leading Arsenal by a goal to nothing. Do you see Arsenal coming into this game with 45 minutes left to play in the encounter, which is the second half? Can Arsenal turn the game around for them to close the gap to two with Liverpool being on top? Else, it will just be a usual drive. When Liverpool sleep, Arsenal also will go and sleep. This is a team that is pushing hard to see how they can secure the EPL title, because for the past 3 seasons, Arsenal have actually been second best in the league. And this season, with all the Arsenal they've actually brought in, talking about the likes of Victor Gyökeres, talking about the likes of Eberechi Eze, talking about the likes of Zubimendi, talking about the likes of Christian Mosquera, and also talking about the likes of Noni Madueke, who have been out of this particular encounter with injury. Can Arsenal come back into this game, stage a comeback to defeat Newcastle United in this particular game? Lots of talking point, lots of talking point, lots of talking point, lots of talking point. That call, that penalty call by Arsenal, it should have been a penalty. It should have been a penalty. The decision by the VAR and the on-field really baffles me. I really can't say what they have seen differently, which we have been watching. But that decision, that VAR decision to deny Arsenal Football Club the penalty in that particular game was really, really unfair, in my opinion, because I thought that would have been a penalty. The contact was there. Victor Gyökeres actually gets to the ball first, but then the on-field referee, after being called to check the monitor, had his review and said there was no foul. That the Newcastle United goalkeeper actually got the ball before the contact of his knee with Victor Gyökeres. But there still is still lots of talking points there, and we hope to see how this will go on in the future. I think, in my opinion, like I always say, the VAR in the Premier League have to really sit up and get to do lots of things right. And I think at this point in time, PGMOL, talking about the Premier League Game Match Official Limited, should actually look into this, because decisions like this actually weaken teams. Of a truth, decisions like this actually weaken teams very well. And I want to believe it's definitely going to be something good if the VAR will actually sit up. The players are back into the pitch, and the second half of the game will kick off pretty soon. As Arsenal will be looking to get back into the game. But then, what should we expect from this particular encounter? What should we expect? Will Arsenal get back, stage a comeback to defeat Newcastle, or will Newcastle hold on and double their lead and went on to grab all 3 points? It's left to be seen, as more drama is expected in the second half of this particular encounter. What do you make, or what will you be expecting in the second half of this particular encounter? Drop your comments down below in the comment section. It's kickoff, and Arsenal and Newcastle United actually starts the game in the second half for Arsenal, running from my left to right, while Arsenal this time is running from right to left. The game is on, and Newcastle United now pushing for a second. What a cross! What a miss! Newcastle United would have doubled the lead, but then the flag was up from the linesman for an offside position. Good call. Good call. Good call. It was actually offside. It was actually offside. Good throw. Arsenal. The ball is out of play and it's a throw-in for Newcastle United. That's a good one from Gabriel Magalish. A clearance. A clearance from Calafiori. So far, Calafiori have had a fair game in this particular game. The ball is out of play for a goal kick, and David Raya takes the ball. Arsenal will be looking for a comeback in this particular game. Arsenal. David Raya with a long one. Headed down by Newcastle midfielder. And a clearance from Nick Pope. Julian Timber wins a throw for Arsenal. Quick throw to Mascara. Mascara to Declan Rice. In the first half of this particular game, uh, Martin Zubimendi have actually played the deep-seated role for Arsenal, while Declan Rice have been roaming, having that liberty to actually swing and exchange play for Arsenal Football Club. But in the second half, it looks like Declan Rice will be playing the deep-seated role for Martin Zubimendi to actually float up front. But you have to say, what a game. Nice through pass by, nice long ball by Arsenal to Timber. Declan Rice. Gabriel Magalic. Zubimendi. Back to Gabriel Magalic. Calafiori with the ball. Gabriel Magalic with the ball. Mascara. Timber. Eze with the ball. To Bukayo Saka. Arsenal trying to break through the Newcastle United defense line. Declan Rice to Calafiori. Calafiori to Declan Rice. Zubimendi with the ball. Back to Gabriel Magalic. Good play by Arsenal. Calafiori. Beautiful cross. And the ball is out of play for a corner. The ball is out of play for Arsenal corner. It's a corner for Arsenal. Declan Rice to take the corner. David Raya in the center circle for Arsenal. Long one, and it was actually quickly taken by Nick Paul, talking about the Newcastle United goalkeeper. Bon to Joe Linton. To Nick Paul. The ball is out of play, and it's a throw-in for Arsenal. Arsenal have started the game so slowly, and the way they have started the game, the tempo is not as high the way they have played it in the first half of this encounter. I expected Arsenal to mount more pressure on the Newcastle United side, but Newcastle United are having just that liberty, trying to see how they can walk through Arsenal on in an open play. David Raya throws the ball quickly. Mosquera back to David Raya. Declan Rice to Mosquera. What a confident defender, I must say. David Raya with a long one. The ball is out of play for Arsenal throw. Taken quickly. Eze with the ball. And Eze missed the ball there. Lost possession to Newcastle. And Newcastle on a counter. Beautiful cross. Begging for contact. But no one was there to make that desired contact. What a cross. And the cross gone begging. No one to connect with that play. The goal kick is taken quickly by Nick Paul. The referee have just removed the card. Yellow card to Calafiori. Calafiori have seen yellow, and it was indeed a yellow card. It was indeed a yellow card to Arsenal Ricardo Calafiori. Free kick to Newcastle United as they are about to take the kick. quickly taken. Headed out by Arsenal defense line, talking about Gabriel Magalhaes. That was a good strike from Bruno, from Joelinton, and it was out of play. Good strike from Joelinton. The ball is out of play. It's a throw-in for Arsenal. Quickly taken by Ricardo Calafiori to Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes to Christian Mosquera. Mosquera to David Raya. David Raya takes a long one, and it was also cleared by Nick Pope, talking about the Newcastle United goalkeeper, Gabriel Magalhaes, to Declan Rice. Declan Rice to Zubimendi. Zubimendi to Mosquera. Mosquera to Zubimendi. Newcastle United are not coming out the way they were coming out to play in the first half. But it's understandable. They have the advantage, they have the lead, and they want to sit and get Arsenal on a counter. They know Arsenal will be coming all out to see how they can get the equalizer. Because if they don't come out, there is no way they will be able to get the goal. And that is what I'm seeing in this particular game. So Newcastle sits deep, trying to see how they can get Arsenal on a counter. But Arsenal are actually playing with caution. Now, Gabriel Magalhaes, Calafiori to Zubimendi, Zubimendi to Declan Rice, Rice to Timber, Timber to Bukayo Saka, to Timber again, Timber with the run into the box, Eberechieze beat one in the act, pass the ball. Oh no. What a save by Nick Pope. What a save. Beautiful game of football there by Arsenal Football Club. But then Nick Pope was called to action again, and Nick Pope was called to action again, and he was equal to the task after Timber headed down from close range, but Nick Pope was equal to the task. Zubimendi with a cross. Trossard down in the box complaining for a penalty, but then the referee went away. It looks like there was a pool down there. Almost similar to what happened when Nick Pope scored. I mean, the push was not strong enough to say it was a penalty. But Mikel Arteta on the sideline is not really happy with what is going on in the field of play. Anthony Taylor is actually the fourth official in this particular game, and I've been taking note of the happenings with the center referee. Newcastle United maintaining play. Nick Pope. What a clearance. The ball is out of play, and it's a throw-in for Timber to Saka. Bukayo Saka have been having it good in the field. Good play from Saka, I must say. Change of play. Calafiori to Declan Rice. Declan Rice to Christian Mosquera. To Iberichi Eze. Eze to Timber. Good run by Timber. But then, what a cross. No connection from anyone. And Declan Rice. Iberichi Eze. The ball was cleared out by Newcastle United defender. Raya has been the 11th player inside the field for Arsenal Football Club, as he has had the liberty of even coming close into the center circle. Beautiful to see. Arsenal is pressing so hard, but Newcastle defense line full of concentration and focus on the game, with Nick Pope in between the stake doing excellently well and keeping Newcastle in the game and still maintaining the lead for Newcastle United. So far, 8 an hour mark played in this game. It's Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal nil. Arsenal is still looking for the needed equalizer in this particular encounter as this continue to trail after an hour mark. It's a throw for Arsenal. Timber takes it quickly. Declan Rice. Zubimendi to Declan Rice. Declan Rice to Ricardo Calafiori. Calafiori to Trossard. Trossard to Declan Rice. And Zubimendi. The ball was cleared out by Newcastle Militao and quickly taken by Arsenal from a throw-in. And is Declan Rice with the ball to Zubimendi. Zubimendi to Eze. Headed down by Mosquera. Trying to find Bukayo Saka. Oh, not Saka. Sorry, it was Timber. The ball is out of play. Eberichi Eze. Couldn't find his footing as Newcastle defender were all over him. Newcastle going for a chance. Newcastle going. And it's a corner for Newcastle United. It's a corner for Newcastle United.
Hello, brother. Some caller just told me that you just come out of the bed and I expect you are straight here. So put your hands about to end that is going to come about that one. Later just
It's a corner for Newcastle. Quickly taken. Cleared out by Arsenal defender. This was a foul. Calafiori pulled that guy down, but the referee didn't see. Newcastle are about to make 3 changes, all at a time. Newcastle are about to make 3 substitutions at the same time. 3 substitutions at the same time. Soon we're going to see the players that will be out and who will be coming in for Newcastle United. Mhm. Berechese have been doing everything possible to see how he connects play with the attacking line. But so far, it still has not clicked for Arsenal Football Club. It still has not clicked as Newcastle United are very strong also in the defense line. The ball is out of play. It's a throw-in for Arsenal Football Club. Calafiori to take the throw. Bukayo Saka pushed away, but the referee says no foul. Joe Linton. Declan Rice now with the ball. Saka to Zubimendi. Gabriel Magalic. Zubimendi. Gabriel Magalic. Zubimendi. Trying to locate. Oh no. Timber couldn't get the ball once. Good play by Timber. Oh no. Newcastle defended well and the ball is out of play for a throw-in. Victor Gyökeres get hold of the ball, but the cooling, the trapping was far from him, and that was cleared out by the Newcastle defender. Talking about Malik Tau. It's a corner for Arsenal. Arsenal to make their first substitute. Gabriel Martinelli to come on for Bukayo Saka. What is going on with Mikel Arteta? Bukayo Saka taking off. Merino and Martinelli on for Arsenal. Merino and Martinelli on for Arsenal, and Calafiori and Bukayo Saka are taking off. That was a tactical change. You took out a defender and an attacker and brought in a midfielder and an attacker. That will add something to the team. It was a tactical change, a good one. A defender and attacker taking off, talking about Ricardo Calafiori and Bukayo Saka and Merino and Gabriel Martinelli that have been a super sub for Arsenal in the last couple of games, talking about in their Champions League game against Atletico, uh, Atletico Bilbao in Spain last time, and in their game against Manchester City, connecting from a Berechese long ball and Gabriel Martinelli have been a super sub in that two encounter. And now it's on against Newcastle. Will Gabriel Martinelli be the one to save Arsenal tonight again? With less than again, with less than 20 minutes to play in this particular encounter. So far, it's 75 minutes on the clock. It's Arsenal 1. It's Arsenal nil and Newcastle 1. Can Arsenal get back into this game? Or will it just be a 1-0 victory for Newcastle United? Eddie Howe trying to see how he makes things work out for Newcastle United. If it stays like this after 90 minutes of play, Newcastle United will be up to 8th place in the Premier League standing with 9 points, while Chelsea fall to 9th place with 8 points. And Arsenal drop from second position after game week 6 to 7th position. And that tells you that the EPL is no joke when it comes to the Premier League. Currently, Newcastle Liverpool Football Club still sits on top of the league with 15 points despite their loss yesterday. And Crystal Palace, that defeated Liverpool Football Club, sits second in the EPL standing. And Tottenham Hotspur, late equalizer against Wolverhampton Wanderers, still keep them in third place in the Premier League standing. Sunderland, the newly promoted boys, are also seated are in fourth place, the same point with Tottenham Hotspur, the same 11 points with Tottenham Hotspur, and also Bournemouth in fifth with 11 points. Manchester City in sixth with 10 points. Arsenal will be in seventh if the game ends like this in 10 points. So far, it's 75 minutes on the clock, and Arsenal still trail by 1-0. Can Arsenal get the winner in this particular game? That is what we are looking at. Can Arsenal get the winner? Can Arsenal get the equalizer? I beg your pardon, because it is the equalizer first before we can talk of getting the winning goal. Can Arsenal get the equalizer to bring them back into the game? The clock is fast ticking, and Arsenal still thrilled by 1-0. So Newcastle in the control seat of this particular game. And Newcastle United football player have been injured and about to be stretched out. Newcastle football player have been stretched out with injury. And that is wow. That is their right back. Talking about Livramento. He landed so badly after contested for an area ball. For an area ball, he landed so badly with his leg, with what looks like an ankle injury. And the substitution has been made. The substitution has been made. Livramento has been substituted out in the game. Livramento Livramento have been substituted out of the game for Newcastle United, and Lascelles brought on in the 77th minute. Livramento have had a very fantastic game tonight, playing it at the right back for Newcastle United and making sure that he actually stopped Trossard from penetrating from that particular angle. And Arsenal still mounting pressure. Arsenal still mounting pressure. That was a giveaway pass by the Arsenal attacker. And David Raya to the rescue. Indeed, David Raya has been the 11th player for Arsenal Football Club. Haven't spent much of the time in the center circle for Arsenal Football Club, trying to also force attack for Arsenal. It's been a wonderful game here at St. James's Park as Newcastle United, after taking that lead in the first half through Nick Waltermade, have actually kept their composure, maintained their focus, never lost concentration all through the entire game so far. And it's paying off. Looks like they will go away with these 3 points, and Arsenal will definitely slip. And that is how it's looking like so far. But yet, still plenty of 10 minutes to play in this particular encounter. Plenty of 10 minutes to play in this particular encounter. Can Arsenal level up? Can they do the Tottenham Hotspur the way they did last night against Wolverhampton Wanderers, leveling up at the 90th plus 4 minutes? That was incredible for Tottenham Hotspur. They actually fought it hard all through the entire game. But then Wolverhampton Wanderers couldn't hold their own to secure their first win of the season. And the way it's going now, can Arsenal replicate what their North London neighbor did at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers just to level up and get a point? We'll wait to see how that will play out in the remaining 10 minutes of this game. Plus or minus, let me say, additional 7 to 8 minute added time again because of the player that have been stretched out. No much of VAR call, no much of delay in the second half, if not for the injury that happened to Livramento that was taken off. So the ball has been going, the game has been flowing actually, but Arsenal is still looking to see how they will get their equalizer in this particular game. Long ball by David Raya into the Newcastle half, but the Newcastle defense line, very tall, always equal to the area duel, and they will head it out at all costs. And that is one thing, talking about area duel. That is one thing that Chelsea have been lacking so far this season. If you watch what happened at Stamford Bridge yesterday against Brighton, the goal scored by Danny Welbeck, he was just on mark. No defender to actually go for that challenge in the air. And it was an unmarked and a free header from Danny Welbeck, and that got them the equalizing goal. And pretty well it was pretty well arranged. I saw it coming personally, and Chelsea couldn't hold their own after going down to 10 men. But yeah, Newcastle are holding it strong, physical with Arsenal. What a chance for Arsenal, but the goal, Victor Gyökeres couldn't find his way. Excellent player, I must say. Fantastic on the ball, always making himself available to space, and one man, I must say Arsenal got a player that they actually deserve. And he lost his footing. That was why he couldn't get the ball to the net. What a battle here between uh, uh, Bruno Guimaraes. Okay, between Lascelles, the substitute that just came into the game. Oh, Arsenal captain talking about Martin Odegaard, who was doubtful in this particular game, has actually come on for Martin Zubimendi. Martin Zubimendi is out, while Martins Odegaard in. Can Odegaard add to this particular game? He was doubtful prior to the start of the game. But then Mikel Arteta have actually decided to introduce him into the game and to see if Arsenal can actually get anything out of this particular encounter. So far, they still trail Newcastle by 1-0. A goal has been scored in this particular encounter. A goal has been scored. The substitute, the substitute, Merino, has leveled up for Arsenal. Arsenal have leveled up at St. James's Park after much fight in this particular encounter. Arsenal leveled up through Merino. Arsenal have leveled up through Merino with pass from Declan Rice. Mikel Merino, assisted by Declan Rice, have scored for Arsenal. And Arsenal have leveled up in this particular game and will be looking for their winning goal if they can possibly get that. And one of the substitute that came in, talking about Merino came in the same time with Gabriel Martinelli, have actually scored for Arsenal. Declan Rice with the cross, and Merino heads it in. Nick Pope couldn't even thought maybe the ball was definitely going out. It's so unfortunate after having much of a good time in this particular game. Make some good saves, but then the header from Mikel Merino, he was unable to see this one. So Arsenal leveled up. Oh, he followed the ball and thought the ball was going out of play, and that is why he didn't get his hand to it. Newcastle United won, Arsenal won. Can Arsenal complete the comeback? 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 It's as Newcastle United won, Arsenal Football Club won. The substitute Mikel Merino leveled up from a cross, leveled up through a cross from Declan Rice, and Arsenal level up. At St. James's Park is Newcastle United 1 and Arsenal Football Club 1. Can Arsenal complete the comeback and close the gap to Liverpool Football Club by just 2 points? Can Arsenal complete the comeback? The game is still on. Newcastle United are also pushing forward to see if they can also get all 3 points in front of their own fans. But then the time is ticking. It's 87 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 1 and Newcastle United 1. Who will take the day? Will Newcastle United take all 3 points? Will Arsenal take all 3 points? Or the game will just end in a draw? What do you make of the encounter so far? And who do you see taking all 3 points? Can Arsenal complete the comeback? Because as it stands now, it's There is a VAR check ongoing for a possible handball against Arsenal. Possible penalty check against Arsenal is ongoing. Will it be given? Is left to be seen. The player was already on the ground, but then was his hand actually up? The referee and the VAR have a decision here to make. Arsenal have actually fought hard all through the encounter of this game, but then will it stand? The referee, the on-field referee, is going close to the sideline, and one of the manager, talking about a Newcastle assistant manager, have been booked. The check is over and it wasn't a penalty, and Newcastle United to take the free kick. The check is over. Arsenal to make a change. Lewis Kelly to come in for Trossard. Lewis Kelly in and Trossard off. So Lewis Kelly in and Trossard off. Arsenal have just less than a minute in the regulation time before the added time will come in. It's a foul, and Newcastle United has been booked. Talking about bond, Newcastle United bond has been booked, and Dan Bond has been booked. So Newcastle United, Arsenal Football Club to take the free kick. David Raya to play a long one. 90 minutes is up. How many minutes will be added is what we are waiting for. It's been an interesting game at St. James's Park as Arsenal Football Club has been doing everything possible to see if they can complete the comeback. But Newcastle United, very physical in this game, good in the area duel, and has been doing everything to keep the Arsenal attack line at bay. And so far, they succeeded not until the 87th minute when Merino headed in Declan Rice cross to level up for Arsenal. And at this point, Arsenal should be searching to see if they can get all 3 points to complete their comeback and stage a win and stage a comeback against Newcastle United in order to close the gap against Liverpool on top of the league. Thank you very much, bro. I really appreciate it. Well done for the perseverance. Thank, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks, brother. Encouragement like this is what keeps me going. Even when I make my video, I just post to watch the little views I actually accumulate is an encouragement to me, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. The fourth official talking about Anthony Taylor to show how many minutes will be added in this particular encounter. It has been interesting. I said it even before. I said it even before now that about 7 or 8 minutes added time might just be added again. And 8 minutes have been added. 8 minutes have been added. And Arsenal have 8 minutes to see if they can get all 3 points at St. James's Park. Declan Rice with the ball to Lewis Kelly. Kelly to Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes. I think that should be Martin Odegaard. The coming in of Martin Odegaard really actually changed Arsenal attacking play, and it's been very nice seeing their team captain come on to change things around. And it's nice seeing Martin Odegaard. And one thing that is one concern personally I have with Arteta. Anyway, prior to the game or before the game started, on Arsenal team sheet, Martin Odegaard was doubtful, and it was said that Martin Odegaard is doubtful for this particular encounter. But then, having brought him on, it means the guy has been fit to play. Why didn't you bring him as earlier than this? Should have brought him earlier than this. Probably Martin Odegaard would have done something else different from other attacking players in the field. So it's nice to see Martin Odegaard come on to actually does what he knows how to do. Gabriel Magalhaes with the ball down to Lewis Kelly. Arsenal are trying to push the Newcastle United side if they can get the equalizer. Headed down by Newcastle Arsenal. The clock is ticking. 95 minutes played so far. Newcastle United with the substitute. Joelinton make way for Burns to come in. Arsenal pushing. Arsenal pushing to complete the comeback. Arsenal pushing so hard to complete the comeback. What a pass! But it was a very good defending by Newcastle United. That was a beautiful defense there. Headed out. Arsenal complaining for handball there at the 3rd minute of this particular game. Quickly taken by Nick Pope. Straight to Arsenal. 97 minutes played in this particular encounter. The ball is out of play and it's a corner. Wow. The VAR have a decision to make here. Bruno Guimaraes. But the VAR never actually checked. That should have been a penalty call. Why did the VAR not take a look at that? Arsenal got the winner. What a comeback! What a comeback for Arsenal Football Club. What a comeback. Arsenal completes the comeback at St. James's Park. The jinx has been breaking. Arsenal 2, Newcastle United 1. What a comeback just at the dead of the time. It's 98 minutes on the clock, and Arsenal got completed the comeback from a goal down to defeat Newcastle United at the St. James's Park by 2 goals to 1. Arsenal have closed the gap to 2 points against Liverpool, who sit 15th on top of the Premier League standing. What a drama, what an action pack full at the St. James's Park. It has been an interesting 90 minutes from start to finish of this particular encounter at St. James's Park. What a header from Gabriel Magalhaes. Interesting to see how Arsenal defenders are turning in at crucial moment to get all needed points for Arsenal. Gabriel Magalhaes and Julian Timber this season have scored. Gabriel Magalhaes, Julian Timber, and Calafiori have scored lots of goals with their head for Arsenal. What a dramatic turnaround of event in this particular encounter, as the Gunners went to St. James's Park since the last one on this ground was in May of 2023, and Arsenal have completed a dramatic comeback at St. James's Park. It's Newcastle United 1, Arsenal Football Club 2. And any moment from now, the referee will sound the whistle and it will be game over. And just like I said, it has finished. It has ended at the St. James's Park. It's Arsenal Football Club 2 and Newcastle United 1. That is the spirit you see from a team that are always fighting for the EPL title. That is the spirit you see from a team that have everything at stake for them to play. That is the spirit of a team that is fighting for a trophy. What a comeback. 1-0 down in the first half, but it was never over by Mikel Arteta boys. And the guys came out blazing in the second half. And the substitute by Mikel Arteta in this particular encounter actually turned things around. Mikel Arteta brought in Merino. Mikel Arteta brought in Gabriel Magalhaes and brought in Gabriel Martinelli, and also bring in Odegaard into the game. And one of the substitutes, talking about Merino, leveled up for Arsenal at the 82nd minute. Leveled up for Arsenal at the 84th minute. And in the 90th plus 6 minutes, Gabriel Magalhaes completed the comeback for Arsenal. And it finished at the St. James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Arsenal Football Club 2. Arsenal went to St. James's Park. They saw and they conquered, picking all 3 points away from the St. James's Park to take it home. And Nick Walter made early goal in the first half, in the 34th minute of this encounter, was not enough to secure all 3 points for Newcastle United. Currently, on the EPL log, Liverpool sit in first position with 15 points, while Arsenal are second on 13 points. Newcastle United third with 12 points. Tottenham Hotspur fourth with 11 points. Sunderland sit fifth, the newly promoted boys, with 11 points. Bournemouth also on 6th position with 11 points. Manchester City on 7th position with 10 points, while Chelsea Football Club sit 8th with 8 points, average of 1 point. Sit 8th with 8 points. What a coincidence in that number. Chelsea are actually 8th on the EPL table with 8 points. Interesting to see. And Brighton sits 9 with 8 points. Also in 10th position is Fulham with 8 points. The bottom 3 after game week 6 remains Burnley 18th position with 4 points. West Ham United 19th with 3 points. And West Ham United have actually sacked their manager, talking about Graham Potter, and have actually employed the services of former Nottingham Forest manager, talking about Nuno Espirito Santos, to take over the aim of affair. While Wolverhampton Wanderers went to White Hart Lane yesterday, almost securing their first win of the season, but Tottenham Hotspur fought real hard, just like their North London neighbor have actually done tonight, to secure a draw at the 90th plus 4 minute. And West Ham United was unable to get all 3 points, and they shared the points at White Hart Lane. Indeed, it has been an interesting weekend of football. Before I leave you, let me take you round the result of English Premier League of game week 6. In the early kickoff on Saturday, saw Manchester United visited Brentford Community Stadium, and Brentford defeated Manchester United by 3 goals to 1. Chelsea welcomed Brighton and Hove Albion at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea lost that particular encounter. No thanks to Enzo Maresca's tactical error that cost Chelsea that particular game. And Brighton defeated 10-man Chelsea by 3 goals to 1. Also, Leeds United played a 2-2 draw with Bournemouth in front of their home fans. And at Etihad, Manchester City hammered the newly promoted boys, talking about Burnley, by 5 goals to 1. The 5:30 p.m. saw Sunderland, one of another newly promoted team, visited Nottingham Forest in the home of Nottingham Forest to take on Ange Postecoglou, who is still looking for his first win in the Premier League, after taking charge of Nottingham Forest, but then lost that particular game in front of their home fan by 1 goal to 0. That means Ange Postecoglou, from his reign at Tottenham Hotspur till it was sacked to Nottingham Forest, have not won in 10 Premier League games. And as Nottingham Forest boss, Ange Postecoglou is still looking for his first win of the season. On Sunday, saw 2 matches haven't played. The first match, 5 p.m., saw Aston Villa, who have actually secured their first win in this particular encounter, defeating Fulham by 3 goals to 1. And the last match on Sunday, talking about the 19:30 p.m. kickoff, saw Arsenal came from behind to defeat Newcastle United by 2 goals to 1 and climbing back to second in the EPL standing. The last match of the EPL game week 6 will be a Monday night football between Everton Football Club versus West Ham. We're going to see how that will play out. And for now, thank you very much for watching. Catch you in my next Premier League review matches. Bye.